focus that I wanted to have today was on a wonderful saying that my coach instilled in me at a very young age. And the saying is called, "Success is a journey, not a destination." But at first, I have to tell you a little bit about my beginnings in the sport of gymnastics. My mom dropped me off in the gymnastics gym because I was a very energetic child, very bubbly, very muscular, had a squeaky voice, and was, I like to say, petite, not short, but petite. And I think my parents just thought right away that gymnastics was the sport for me. And I know that they never imagined that I would be in the sport for 18 years and continuing to be a part of the sport at the age of 30 years old. And in the sport of gymnastics, at my first day at the gym, I met my coach, Kelly Hill, who quickly became my role model and quickly instilled so many positive things into my life, not only physically pushing me beyond my limits, but also psychologically challenging me to stay confident, to give it everything that I had. And one saying that sticks out in my head from the 18 years of flipping in the sport of gymnastics, landing on my head, believe it or not, was the saying, "Success is a journey, not a destination." She had said that to me when I was like 9 years old. I was training, and she told me, "Success is a journey, not a destination, Dominique. You've got to focus on the journey, not just the goal, the individual goal, and that one destination that you're trying to achieve." I didn't have a clue at that age what she was speaking about, and I actually thought it was an original saying until I was 14 years old, traveling in the airport, and I went by a successory store and saw that saying there, "Success is a journey, not a destination." So I must say that I was a little disappointed she wasn't as original and creative as I thought, but nevertheless, the saying really did stick with me, and especially now at 30 years old, I know what she was talking about. Success is about reaching your full potential in life. It's not about what other people are saying or about the amount of money you make or the people that you know or the clothes that you wear or the titles or accolades that you may have in your home. It's really about reaching your own personal fulfillment, your own personal expansion of yourself. Reaching your full potential, it starts from finding your passion, in my mind. And finding your passion starts from envisioning. When I was 11 years old, I started setting my sights on envisioning of going to the Olympics someday. And I knew I had 4 years of training that I had to persevere through to make it to my first Olympic Games in 1992. But it all began with first envisioning. That's how I was able to not only discover my passion, but develop my passion, and more importantly, dictate my passion. Envision. E stands for expand your experiences. What do I mean by that? I mean expand your experiences so you can find what your true talent is in this world, so you can find out truly where your passion is in this world. And sometimes those don't align, and I found out that quickly when my career was partially over in the sport and I tried Broadway. And I had a passion for singing and acting and dancing, and it was phenomenal, but I had absolutely no talent. So that does not work out. But there is a way in this world to find out what you have a passion for and also match it with what you have a natural God-given ability for. You may have an interest and a passion for young kids. You may be a great speaker or a leader and love to teach or coach. You may have a love and a passion for photography, and you try to combine those two and photograph photography and doing something with young kids and sports and nonprofits and whatever it is that you have an interest in. Try to combine what you have a talent for with what you have a passion for. And many times we may already know what's natural for us. Some of us are natural-born leaders. Some of us are natural encouragers, natural speakers, natural teachers. We have natural abilities in photography and arts and singing and crafts and so many different things, but we may not know what we have a passion for because we have not gotten out there and expanded our experiences to find out what we truly have a love for. You know, the hardest part of my career was not the training for the Olympics. That was not the hard part of my life. The hard part was finding, once my career was over, at the ripe old age of 23, with a lot of arthritis and a lot of medication, to find out what else I truly had a passion for in this world. And I found out through a lot of bumps in the road, trying Broadway, trying television, working with kids, trying the singing, trying all of these different things, and I found out what I have a passion for is inspiring others, is inspiring young people, is inspiring women, is inspiring men, and speaking in front of people, either behind a podium or either at a gymnastics gym where I love to yell at my little kiddies every now and then to make sure that they're pointing their toes and straightening their legs. But I was only able to develop that passion or find out where that passion was from getting out there and expanding my experiences and making mistakes and having failures and finding out this is truly what I love to do. Ask yourself today, where does your passion lie? What do you have a passion for? And also, how can you align what you already have a natural ability in and align it with whatever it is you have a passion for? Envision. N stands for you need a plan. Once you've determined where your passion lies, what you have a talent for, and you've combined those two, now let's do something with it. You've discovered it. Now it's time to develop it. I remember when I was in the gymnastics gym and I set my sights on the Olympic Games, but years before, I was just going through the motions. I was 9 years old. I was just going through the motions. I was having fun. And one day, someone put a seed in my head and said, have you ever thought about training for the Olympics? Have you ever thought about, you're something special, you have talent, you have abilities. Have you ever thought about setting your goals quite high? And it wasn't until someone had put that seed in me that I then started thinking a little bit harder about what can I do with this God-given talent? What can I do with this passion that I have for the sport of gymnastics? It took 2 years later, 11 years old, for me to decide, let me direct myself towards an Olympic Games because I think that's possible. And I started changing my schedule, focusing on working harder, keeping a good attitude, and understanding the competitions that I had to compete en route to accomplishing my goal. When you set a plan, it gives you direction. When you set a plan, it gives you something to reach and strive for. So once you find that passion and you combine it with your natural ability, it is important to make sure you're trying to do something with it. Because it's one thing when someone has this great passion and ability for something, but they're sitting back and just going through the motions and just showing up. They're not going to really develop it and achieve something great and impact others or impact themselves with the gift that they have. So don't forget, you need a plan, you need direction. And you can start something small like stepping stone goals. When my career was first over, I remember I wanted to try all these different careers, but I wanted to make sure I just got my feet wet. It wasn't right away, oh, I want to try acting, I think I want to be in Hollywood and I want to be in a blockbuster hit. That's not going to happen that way. You have to work on developing yourself, the training, meeting the right people, trying out and figuring out if this is the career or the aspiration for you. And I quickly found out that that was not for me. But when I got into motivational speaking, I got my feet in slowly but surely, 5-minute speeches, working with kids, doing workshops, trying to see if I enjoyed coaching, what was the topic that I loved to speak about. And there were times that I spoke about a topic that I had no passion or interest for, and the audience got it. They knew that I had no clue, and I learned from that that was not what I wanted to do, and I needed to direct my speeches towards something that I'm passionate about, and that's inspiring others and lifting them up. So when you create that plan, don't forget, develop stepping stone goals. That will help you pave the way towards you reaching your full potential, you reaching your success. Envision. V stands for values. How many of you all here have kids? Or young people in your life, for those of you all that don't have kids. I'm an auntie, and a very proud auntie at that. And it's funny how I'm always instilling in my young niece and nephew healthy values that they should live by. Being honest, always telling the truth, being compassionate and considerate of other people. Remember to work hard and listen to your teachers. Mind you, you can tell they're very young because I'm crouching down because they're 4 and 1.5, so the 1.5-year-old's not listening to me whatsoever. But those are healthy values that we try to instill in the young people in our lives, either our children, our grandchildren, or our nieces and our nephews. Ask yourself, what are the values that you live by? What are the values that you stand for? And you may ask yourself, what does this have to do with you developing and reaching your full potential? It has everything to do with you developing and reaching your full potential, because your values have to do with your core, has to do with who you are on the inside. And if your values are unhealthy or your values are corrupt, then eventually whatever you achieve will eventually deteriorate because your core has cracks, because your foundation is weak and it's not sound. Make sure that you're choosing to live by healthy values, not just speaking about them to the young people in your life, either as I do to my young gymnasts, or I do to young audiences, or I do to my nieces and nephews, but I'm constantly challenging myself and saying, am I not only speaking about my values, or am I also showing my values as well?